Hi there. You know me. I know you. So, let's just skip that awkward introduction into how we're doing and all that other bullshit, because we don't really care. What we're doing today is we're actually going to start my reviews. Took me long enough, but I finally have a little bit of an afternoon to where I can. So let's just jump right into it. I'm not going to waste any time. I originally was going to do Dragon Ball Z, The Legacy of Goku for the Game Boy Advance, but I decided to change my mind and we're going to go with, I found it today because it's one of my favorite games, Final Fantasy X-2. Now, a lot of people say this game wasn't very good because it just, didn't follow 10. But if you think about it, it followed 10 completely. I mean, the battle mode, it was a little bit off to what you're used to for a traditional RPG, but still, the storyline itself for me is what dragged me into this game. It's the end of 10 to where you think Tidus is gonna not ever be back, and all of a sudden, at the end of 10, you see him swimming up towards the surface, and it ends right there. Now, when I first played it, I was dumbfounded, to be honest. And I still couldn't believe that that's the way they were going to end that game. And then all of a sudden I heard 10-2. I never played it. I saw my brother play it once, and I didn't really care for it at all. Then I decided to finally play it, and I was blown away. I mean, the beginning with the pop music, it pretty much sucked. I was not ready for that at all. But then once you got past that, you actually got into the main story of the game, and you kind of realized you were in for something pretty special. Now, it's not going to be as long as what 10 was, but then again, 10 you could beat in 36 hours if you didn't get the ultimate weapons. Now, the nice thing about 10-2 is they had these things called dress spheres. You could change them in the heat of battle. You could go from, let's just say Yuna, she had Gunner as their default one. You could go to Thief, you could go to Samurai, Black Mage, White Mage, you name it. There's a few different ones. Now, in this game, you go to all the different islands, towns, whatever you want to call them, that you saw in 10. You visit them, but it's years after Yuna has defeated Sin. And there's a calm, but then you find out there's a brand new threat. There's 3 different groups. There's New Yevon, and a couple other ones that don't really matter just because they're just there. So to begin with, you find out that Yuna, at least in the beginning of the game, she becomes a pop singer. But it's not really her, is it? It's not at all. It's a different girl, and her name is LeBlanc, and you find out that they're spear hunters because Yuna found a spear that has you-know-who. And if you play 10, you know exactly who it is, because at the end of 10, Yuna tells you-know-who that she loves them, and just makes you want them to be reunited even more. At least I did. So then, you go throughout Spira, finding spears, and you think it's him, and upon first inspection, you kind of think so, but then later on, you realize it's not even him, it's somebody completely different. And the problem with this is, Yuna, she starts to doubt that she'll ever see him again. And depending on how you beat the game later on, you actually have, 2 different endings and one that's pretty much a game over. Because you see the other guy just destroy Spira, and it's not very good. I know in the international version, there's actually a sad ending, which I've seen, and it's pretty sad, I'm not going to lie. I saw that and tears were flowing. But then again, I beat this game. I got the good ending, which is computer generated. It's a very nice ending. It's my favorite one. I've seen the perfect ending. That one you see Tidus and Yuna, they're in the Xanakin ruins, and he's saying that she should cherish him, and you should watch it online. It'll make a little bit more sense than how I'm trying to describe it to you. But the good ending, they're reunited on Besaid, and you see Waka, Lulu, some other characters from 10, and they're all kind of together, and it just brings the whole thing right around. So, overall, I really enjoyed 10-2. I know a lot of people hated it just because it was an all-female cast, and there's just a whole different array of gaming to the game itself. I know it's kind of redundant, but it works for what it needs to. And in this one, you actually get introduced to a new character named Pain. She's very mysterious until chapter 6, 7 in the game, when it actually really starts to get interesting to see all the conflict. And it's a great game. You really have to try it as long as you're a fan of Final Fantasy. If not, well, there's all those other games that you can play. And well, I think that's pretty much all it's going to be for right now, folks, until I get another request, or I know my buddy Jim, this is going out to you. I know you want me to do Epic Mickey, but it's not going to happen because I haven't beaten it yet. And I remember I talked all about it. You guys could play it, and yeah. So if you folks have something else you'd like me to review and play, just drop me a hint, and thank you very much. Have a good one.